Hi, WEOLA. That was brilliant. That last answer and question, that was absolutely brilliant. But I have a fascination, and I'd love to get your perspective on this, is what validates truth? And I understand that we all have different perspectives of a truth, but does that doesn't change the truth, or does it? And where does fact come into this?
Fact is a choice. Validation of the fact as well is the choice. So if the story is the choice, if the fact is a choice, and validation of that story or that fact is a choice, then you understand that everything is the choice. The part that is really engraved into the system of creation of everything that exists might feel to you like it's not a choice, but it still is a choice, because the choice of eternity brings it to move and move and move and move more and more. We would like to hear more specific question on this topic you have going on.
Well, I suppose it's a little bit around, well, I suppose what's prompting it, and I had this question a while ago, but I think it's more becoming pertinent in the whole COVID situation, because they're talking about putting England into another lockdown, and I understand that there are different perspectives on this, and there are lots of scientists that are saying something. So it's really about that truth. And if I even look back on sort of previous inventors and things like that, they had a truth, and it was born out to be.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why some of those truths within those scientists were born to be. They were born to be because they were the ones receiving the ideas that was there for so many more to experience. In other words, so many more already also were receiving those ideas, those desires about certain things. And that's why they would take more and more and more momentum. And because of that being already in a creation of the more focusing mechanisms, more particles moving in that direction, that's why it became what often is called mainstream, or what you can call truth, or what you can call agreement. But even those agreements of that being the truth, and that becoming more truth for more and more was the choice agreement of more choices being more truths, that becomes the truth and becomes the real and becomes everything that exists. It would be like you would say that certain medication works like this as a truth for everyone, because that would be the truth being that everything that exists and every particle at all times would behave this way if choosing this particular medication, which is never true, because this medication can mean so many different things for so many different people and so many different focusing mechanisms in different part of their own individual evolution, and therefore brings it to the choice. Is it good choice for them at this moment, at this moment, at this moment, at this moment? And we're using this medication because you talk about the topic that you chose to talk about, but it's the same with everything. Everything that you see as the truth being something that everyone agrees upon, it's also very safe to say that in those words, the truth really does not exist. Because if the truth was to exist, every particle of the universe would go and agree on it. Every focusing mechanism would go and agree on it, which will never be the case because of such a vast variety. So therefore, these contexts that are building around, these choices, these researches, these scientists building certain things and certain technologies, no matter how helpful that is and thankful many people are about it, you can now have people talking even about technology. Is the life now more advanced due to technology or before the technology? There's always going to be someone who will give some sort of speck of doubt towards the truth. And even if everybody agrees on the context, which not even majority does, but what we're trying to say that the communication about these statistics of everybody knowing this is the truth, of everybody knowing that that is the truth, that has never been and never will be, because that, even if it's a one tiny speck of one tiny topic that everyone would agree upon, that would define the variety. The variety, and we have not said this before, and this might be a good quote for Amanda as well. The variety is what keeps truth not to be so universal that everybody agrees on it. That is why eternity is perpetual, eternal, always moving in a beautiful question-answer dance of that discovery of this truth and this truth and this truth. And this group of people having this story to be their fact, to be their truth, and this group of people and this and this and this. And usually when the receiving is there and more people get on that, is because all of those people who are experiencing that truth have created it as well. All of those people who are reading that book have written that book too. So we are bringing to your attention a lot of variety of levels of vibration about this particular conversation, but we know that's exactly what you asked for.
So then, is there only a few or very simple universal truths?
The truth about creation process and the choice. Choice, if you really want to label anything, the choice of every particle in the universe about movement and about giving the flashlight through your focus integrated place, we're talking, as that's what you are perceiving and can perceive, is that movement between question and answer. That is the choice. Choice may be the ultimate truth you're talking about.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you very much.
As you are in your own beautiful creation of question answer dance. Really brilliant conversation.